This is the rub. Shane Watson has written and self-published an outstanding book which should be in every school and every boardroom, because he went to hell and back at a critical stage of his cricketing career, what he would call the darkest hole of his life, but he turned everything around mentally, which gave him a new dimension on how to use his extraordinary talent. Now, this is true of so many people. Shane writes that he's one of the most modest people I've ever met. In fact, his young son, Will, is often prompted to remind his dad how many times he got out and how he got out and why he shouldn't have got out. But Shane writes that he sabotaged himself because he lacked the understanding and the tools to properly realise his remarkable ability. Now, the contents of this book are extraordinary. It is called Winning the Inner Battle, where he deals with skill set versus mindset, confidence, focus and overcoming fear, how mindset affects performance, communication and the power of it, the demon of expectation. He knows all about that. He says the brain is like a muscle. I've always said it's the most important muscle in our body. New age distractions, there's a chapter on that. Social media. These are all chapters magnificently and very simply written. Anxiety affects performance. A chapter on that. So it does. Getting rid of your old habits. The value of self-critique. Magnificent book for everybody, not just for cricket, but he's written it drawing on his cricket experiences. He joins me. Shane, thank you for your time tonight. Congratulations. For our viewers, I'm putting up on the screen some of the comments on the screen by Ricky Ponting, who said, in part, this book will teach you everything you need to know to unlock your full mental potential. Not about cricket, whatever your potential is. Brett Lee. This book gives a simple process to be used in all aspects of life. And the great South African Faf du Plessis says, this mental skills program is so relevant and very specific with what actually goes on in your mind before you face every ball. Shane, what brought you to write the book?
Well, through my experiences and my education by a mental skills guru from the US that I was fortunate enough to be able to our paths crossed and I got introduced to him. And from the time that I worked with Dr. Jacques Dallaire, he finally gave me an understanding at 34 of exactly, in really simple terms, how your mind works, how to get out of your own way. And at that time, I was certainly getting in my own way in a big way, to a point where I was on the brink of retirement just because I knew I wasn't performing anywhere near how I knew I could. So that education has led me to being in a fortunate place where I was then able to put these mental skills into practice through the last 4 years of me playing T20 leagues around the world. And I just know this information, it's so simple to understand. And I wish I knew this information as I was coming through as a teenager.
Yes.
It would have helped me out in so many different ways around reaching my potential, but also taking the worry and stress and anxiety out of what it takes to be as successful as you can.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I've just said, I mean, this is not really about cricket alone, is it? I mean, when you're talking about confidence and focus and overcoming fear, just on that, is that something the current Australian team on Friday must be able to do in the face of this crushing defeat, overcoming fear?
Oh, absolutely. The biggest challenge of playing in India is not knowing exactly how the ball's going to react out of that wicket every single time compared to what it is in playing in different parts around the world. And the one thing that you need to eliminate when all the players are at their absolute best is when they've got no fear at all. They're just going out in the middle, just taking the game on, bringing the best version of themselves, which everyone, as we saw with Dave Warner in the Boxing Day Test, you could see from ball one, he was at his absolute best. He was taking the game on with no fear whatsoever. And we see that version of Dave Warner in this second test, and if he brings that, then he's got the best chance of being able to really dominate the test match like he has at certain times throughout his career.
I agree entirely. I mean, I used to say to people, forget about what the opposition are. We know what we're going to do, and attack is the best method of defence.